Hello everyone. Welcome to the video. And basically, this is going to be a Rooftops and Alleys, like, short first impressions. It probably won't be short because I talk a lot, but yeah, let's just say short anyway. In this video, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on the game and some general issues that I think needs being improved upon, and just some general ideas and things that the person could add, or sorry, the developer could add. And yeah, I overall, but keep in mind, by the way, when I'm giving these critiques, I'm not saying it in any bad light. I actually really enjoyed this game. I'm coming up like 20 hours on this game, and it's only been out for a few days. And on this type of game, that's quite a long playtime, actually. Um, Given that we don't actually have that much content to explore, but I just super enjoyed jumping around and doing some random stuff in here. It's a really cool concept here. And honestly, the game looks really, really good too. The visuals look great. The whole like maps could be improved upon visuals wise, but I think overall the game looks good. Like the style. But yeah, I just want to get into some critiques here. So the first is the price. I think this is the big main one. Now, keep in mind, I have talked to a few friends about this who actually have this game and wanted this game, and they have said that the price is a little bit too much for their like their standard, especially assuming it is early access, right? Um, this game is early access, and I still believe that even in its current state, it's a little bit too high on the price. The reason I think that is because there's a lot of games out there that do a lot more than this, for the same price. Like, I mean, Hollow Knight. Not that I'm comparing the two games as like equals here, but I'm just comparing them price wise for the actual thing that you're getting, right? Um, with Hollow Knight, you're getting a fully fledged out game for like £15, which is just insane. And how detailed Hollow Knight is and everything, and how much effort went into that. It's yeah, and it's a whole team, by the way. But yeah, um, the price is just a little bit too high. I think it should probably be lowered to £10. I think it's like 13.49. I just think a more reasonable price would be like 9.99 or something. I think that would be a way better option for you, personally, as you will get a lot more sales. Because that is a critique that I've had from actually four individuals now who I've talked about with the game, and they have said that the game is just a little bit too expensive. It's just a little bit too much for what it actually is in its current state. Especially assuming the fact that it could get more expensive as well. I just don't think it's worth it for now, if that makes sense. Um, because this needs to fit a specific type of audience. So if you're putting the price up quite a lot, people are going to be like, do I really want to buy this for this much for an early access game that could possibly not even be fully developed? Does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, that's just my gist on the price. Other stuff is general movements. I mean, for the most part, the parkour in this game is actually pretty fluid, and like everything feels like really, really good. Everything feels really nice. Um, Everything just feels good. But I say everything, but not everything. There's a few things and a few problems that I have with the current movement, and it's obviously this is early access, so please keep in mind that my critiques. I'm not crapping on the game or anything. I'm just saying what could be improved upon. Um, Wall ejects. Now, wall ejects could be a new thing that added. Need to be. I think they just need to be improved upon. I think the wall ejects and side ejects need to be fully added and be fully controllable. Oh, sorry, wall ejects and back ejects. So like side ejects and back ejects. That's what I actually meant. Sorry, my bad. So like when you're running up a wall, for example, you should be able to jump backwards at any given point, like the AC series, right? That's what I personally think. And not only that, the actual back eject itself, like when you actually press back eject, it sends you diagonally away. For some reason, I don't know why that is, but they should. I wish you could make it controllable. I wish the back eject was control. Okay, okay. I wish it was just a bit more controllable and had a bit more freedom with it. So yeah. And it's the same with side ejects. Obviously, when you run along a wall, there's not much like movement wise you can do in order to control the direction of where you're going. That can be quite frustrating, especially for a game about parkour. You need to be able to flow very well, which I also see sort of leads into my next point. Is the timing on certain moves feels really, really weird, and the way it slows you down. So striding across beams and doing back handsprings is another one of those things. Like this feels really, really bad and slow. I think the animation could be sped up by 25%, and the window for actually pressing the button needs to be improved upon. Like I should be able to press, like you need to get specific timing, and I don't like that. It just makes it like a, I don't know, it just feels too awkward to input. That you can call that a skill issue, but it just feels off. And it's the same as striding timing, which I'll sort of show you in a minute, right? So, as you can see, I can stride, right? But there's not a lot of freedom. So, for example, I'm looking in... Oh, okay, no, I didn't want to do that. Like, say I want to go to the right of the beams as I'm running to the left. I want to be able to control where I go. So now I'm looking to the left, and it doesn't go anywhere. I think with each stride, you should have a window of opportunity to, like, move as you normally would, right? So if I just did this, like as if I would normally just jump like to a designated direction, but it's a little bit too clunky. And then the actual running across the beams, like the back handspring, it just felt it feels too weighty. Does that make sense? Like, for example, like the rest of the game feels really like fluid and like weightless, for example, but then the moment you do back handsprings and stuff like that or go on a bar, it feels too weighty. It just feels like you're being weighed down, and I don't like that. Especially in this type of game where things need to be really, really fluid and consistent. But yeah, I would also like new maps. Now, new maps in its current state. Have I even talked about this? My brain. I actually forgot because I've recorded this a few times now. New maps. I think there should be a lot more new maps. Either that, instead of working on making multiple maps, I think what you should do is be instead focusing on one specific map and building and branching out. So at least you have one big map, and then from there, then you can work on other maps in the meantime. You know, at least giving people so they have one big detailed map to explore and do random stuff on, do specific pathing, la di da di da. I think that would be a better option than making like 8 different maps. You know what I'm saying? With not a lot in them, because that is my critique here. Like, if you look at the majority of the map, it's quite empty. I get it, it's early access, so just please keep in mind that I'm not critiquing that. I know, I do understand that it is early access. Okay, so I'll give it time. Don't worry, but I think it should just be something that you should be working on the most. Okay, is like the price, just the overall feel of the game, then work on future content, and then you're sorted. Really. I think in general, those are most of my issues. There's just some obviously minor bugs and stuff that happens. Like you bail out of random situations that you shouldn't be bailing out of. Like I said, the side ejects need to be a thing, back ejects control and everything, new maps that are more detailed, with more advanced pathing and everything. And new modes are always a possibility, but that's like future down the line. So keep in mind, I'm not saying this for like the next few months. I'm talking about like a year down the line. There could be a possibility of like a tag mode, or for example, like think of like Subway Surfers, right? There's a police officer chasing you. That would be really, really cool. To be honest with you, I would really like if there was a mode like that in the game where a police officer would chase you and they know parkour and you have to actually like escape them in a certain time or something. I don't know. Like something like that would be just really, really interesting to like fiddle around with. But overall, I like the feel of the game. The options are great. Like you have actual customization options, which I was not expecting. Um, he's been adding fixes from day one. Like there's literally been no days now. It's been like 4 days straight where he's done updates and added stuff. Literally every day, which is really, really impressive. Genuinely, I hope he keeps going. I really hope you keep going because you have the workings of like a really good game here, like a really solid game. He's also added stuff on this map, if I'm sure. Yeah. If I just make my way to it. But yeah, like for example, over here, this used to only be one beam, like just over there. There only used to be one beam leading, or 2 beams leading up to it. Then he added like more pathways to there. and he's added some general improvements. I actually just I can't say like enough nice things about it. Just keep going, man, and just keep working on the game, and possibly, I guess, is just bring in maybe another extra person or something as help. Because I think making all these maps by yourself and doing all this stuff is going to be a lot of... It's just going to be a lot of time, and by that point, a lot of the player base will sort of go. Does that make sense? Like, only a few portion will stay if the game isn't worked on in a fairly quick state. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I think that's my general first impressions. I really, really like the game. I can't say enough things about it. There's just those things that I think need improving upon before anything else. And, yeah. Yeah, would be nice. And also, I guess a random thing would be the ability to grab onto ledges, like, more, like, from higher drops. So, like, for example, say I drop from, like, all the way up here, right? And I was to jump from here. Like, I want to be able to grab onto the ledge. Does that make sense? That would be really cool. Oh, and lastly, precision jumping. I really would like there to be a precision jump. Like, more consistent. It's not really that consistent and feels slow. The same with, like, the back handspring timings and stuff like that. It just doesn't feel good to use, and especially when the game is basically focused around parkour. So, yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I actually really am looking forward. I'm really just looking forward to what the game has for the future, and just seeing where it goes from here. Really, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of updates. I'm sure it's going to keep going. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough now. So take care, guys, and I hope you guys see you in the next one. And I'll make sure to post more videos when the guy adds more content. So yeah, for now. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.